Hello and welcome back. I have been on my Disney cruise. That's not my name. My name is Gary C. Hello, I am been on my Disney cruise. No, I have been on my Disney cruise and it wasn't as stressful and hellish as I thought. 2 weeks before I went, I was like, maybe Adam should take our friend Rachel because, you know, this is too much. This is too much. I did have a look at his dream guide. Only a little flick though, because he didn't want me knowing loads of stuff, because obviously the fun of me going with him was like get my reactions and stuff. So I did just flick through and I was just like, oh, you know, this is available now, the Disney Dream Guide cruise book thing. It's in the description below. Plug, 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 friend. There you go. And I thought about the ship's plans. I worried about the T word, Titanic. Would Adam let me get on the door or the wardrobe, whatever it was, or would he just watch me sink into the abyss? Bar girl, where'd you put your pins? Do you know what I mean? So I was very, very anxious. For what? I had a great time. Isn't that my life all over? Thank you, mental illness. So this video is going to be all about the Disney Cruise Line, but applies to most cruises. Things that you worry about or could worry about that weren't really things to worry about, truth be told. So, before we go any further, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, because it helps spread the word, and hit the notification bell. Here we go. Gary C. Disney Cruise Line Anxiety Guide thing, tips, top tips, hashtag, I don't know what I'm going to call this, but I will figure it out by the time it gets to you. Number 1. People. There's a lot of people, and I was worried about there being too many people, it being claustrophobic, no safe spaces or quiet places. Liza Minnelli. There's loads of safe spaces, quiet places for people with anxiety, especially if you're adults, because there are adult-only areas, which I don't think I knew about. Plus, when you get to port, everyone gets off pretty much. So the ship is a ghost ship. So it's just you. And what we were doing was, well, you can see it in the vlog series. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. Adam's vlog series of like the entire trip. But what we were doing was, we got off the ship very early. We did what we wanted to do at port, saw what we wanted to saw, and then got back on. So the afternoon was incredibly quiet and peaceful. Number 2, food and people. So, before I went, I knew that as a couple, not that kind of couple, but as a pair, we would probably be sat with other people because of how the table system works. And I was incredibly nervous that we'll be sat with people that we either don't get along with, or they don't like the guys, or, you know, it was all going to be awkward and weird and whatever. Thankfully, Adam thought ahead and requested a table for just the 2 of us. Now, that's very rare, supposedly, that you get that. You can make the request, but it doesn't mean to say you're going to get it. But it's actually quite a nice way to meet people. And even though we had a table of 2, we were next to another table of 2, and we did speak to those people. And it was nice to talk to them and find out what they'd done. So, worrying about the other people on the table, and if you're worried about big groups of people being near you, they're just getting on with what they're getting on with their servers and with their food and their kids. They're not worried about you. You're fine just sitting there. Will people think that adults on their own are weird? No, there's adults on their own everywhere. I thought that was going to be the thing. Like, are people going to be like, oh, 2 guys on a Disney cruise, like weirdos? But actually, there was a lot of people, 2 women, 2 guys, couples, like very young couples, loads of old couples. It was a real mix of people, and I got comfortable very, very quickly. Number 3, boredom and anxiety. The worst thing for my mind, you can probably hear my anxiety spinning. It's because I'm spinning it away. Just talking about it makes me like, okay, calm down. The thing I was worried about was boredom on the sea day and not having enough to do, and then maybe you start to get a bit narky with each other or frustrated because there's nothing to do, or anxiety, just overthinking and worrying and start thinking, oh, I'm on a ship, wow, this is happening. There's no time for that. The entertainment on Disney cruises alone is world class. There's always activities, there's always like quizzes and game shows and fun things. I did some drawing with an artist at one point, which is, you know, what happens in Disney World, Disneyland. Like, it was just like a session like that, like what goes on in Animal Kingdom at Rafiki's Planet Watch. So I drew a character, it was Donald. I did mess it up towards the end, but I shaded those bits out so you couldn't say. We did a quiz where you got up and run around. Like, you'll see it all in the vlog series. Again, I'm sorry I can't show you because I don't vlog the holidays anymore because it just makes me really ill and I don't enjoy it. So Adam's series is down there. There's a lot to do. And for kids, if you're worried about what the kids are going to do, the kids will probably not want to be with you for the whole time because they'll make little friends in the kids club. And we had a quick walk around the kids club when it was open so that adults could see and be nosy. And it is amazing. The teens club and the older teens, so like the 18 sort of teens, 17, 18, they go to these like discos and that finish at like 12 a.m, like 1 a.m. and stuff. They're living their best lives. Don't worry about what the kids are doing. Just you relax and enjoy yourself. 4. The room. Would I be claustrophobic in the room? Would there be no room to breathe? And the beds were great. Our room had a balcony and it was all open and it was really big. I did see online some of the other rooms, and actually, considering the amount of time you're in the room, because you're not really in the room that much, it's like Disney World. You're off doing stuff, exploring and experiencing the ship and the entertainment and that. You're not really just sat in the room doing nothing. And if you are just in the room, you can get room service for nothing to the room, which we did. We got breakfast to the room, and then I think Adam got like a cheese plate and I got some cookies. Of course I did, one afternoon. Just, you know, because we could. And there's an entertainment system on the TV where you can watch loads of films. We watched Sister Act and Sister Act 2. Well, Adam was watching them and I was just looking up every now and like, yes, girl. So there's something for everyone. It's really great. This almost feels like anti-anxiety plus advert for Disney Cruise. But I have come away being a total convert. I didn't get it. I was afraid of it, afraid of the sea. I've always been loved listening and watching the sea, but afraid of what's down there. And I even found myself going out on the balcony and just looking out and just being like, this is peaceful. And it's very hard for someone like me with anxiety to find any peace. And it was very momentarily. It was nice, really nice. Everybody has asked me, were you seasick? Did it make you feel more anxious? No. The ship is so big that it takes the movement. And when it did move on the last night, it was funny. It was like, it would just move a tiny bit and it'd be like, oh, we're on like a 5-star hotel floating on the sea. Yes, we are. So I don't know, it's hard to explain. We also took these gin things that Adam bought on Amazon. I'll put the picture there. They're supposed to be a natural remedy, and I had these wristbands that I got on Amazon that have like a pressure point thing that stop you getting seasick. You only really need those for the first day or so as your body gets used to it. And if it's rocky at sea, it's rocky. What can you do? You're on the ocean. Live with it, deal with it. That's the thing, like all these little worries, you just deal with it when it comes. And as I was saying, when the ship moves a tiny bit, it kind of becomes a bit laughable after a few days of nothing. You're just a bit like, really? Now, on the last night, you're going to move? Really? Number 6, the ocean, overboard and rogue waves. It doesn't happen that often. It does happen. But the ship is built to take a lot. Like they are, when you see them up close, it is incredible how big they are. And when it comes to overboard, there is procedures. If you see someone go overboard, you shout overboard and you throw them a ring that are everywhere that's got the Disney Dream on it. Took a picture of that, of course I did, picture. And then you also, on the first day, you do a muster, which is where everybody gets to stations that they've been allocated, which is where you see what your lifeboat is. That was quite comforting to say, there's my lifeboat. This is where I would be on the lifeboat. And they do the sort of roll calls and everything. Like all the sort of procedures about how to put a life jacket on. It's all very serious, but it has to be done. And I'm glad that it was done seriously and it wasn't just, oh, here we are. Because for me, that made me feel like I'm on here. They know safety is important, and let's do this. The muster was really important for me because it made me think, okay, these people know what they're doing. Everyone on this ship, whether it's entertainment, whether it's people in the kitchens, whether it's the people that clean the staterooms, everybody on here knows the procedures and knows what they have to do in an emergency. Now, you might say, okay, in an emergency, everything's going out the window. You'll never know. And the chances of it happening are slim. A lot slimmer than me. Oh, the sadness. But the cakes. Love the cakes on the ship. All the cakes. Desserts everywhere. Number 7. Illness. Everywhere you go, you're asked to sanitize your hands, which I didn't know was a thing, and it made me again feel so much better about disease and stuff like that, because you know you're in close confinement with other people, but not really close because it's huge, and they get you to do it in, out of the restaurants, like as you're boarding, as you're doing this, and it's great, and it's just a wipe, and then you just put it in the disposal thing, and that's it. Great. Should something happen, should you get ill, should you have an anxiety attack, should something happen, if something happened, there are doctors, nurses and people on hand, and they do have a medical sort of bay thing. And it's not worth worrying about, because I feel like worrying about it and putting that out there to the universe is provoking it. So just enjoy your cruise. Sit back, eat the food, see the view, visit the places, do the activities, meet the characters. I met loads. And enjoy. Number 8, getting left behind. Something I really genuinely thought might happen. Because, hey. And it didn't. And it very rarely does. And when it does, they know exactly who's missing, and they would make arrangements or sort things out. Or they're not just going to leave you in the middle of the Bahamas or whatever. But on Castaway Key, because it's Disney's private island, yeah, that's right, private island, they have one of those. It's run by Disney staff, so they know exactly who's on there and who shouldn't be on there with them. And the key to the world lets them know on and off the ship, like who's on and who's off. As much as it also is your ID on the ship, and it opens your stateroom, your hotel room. I can't get over the fact that it's called stateroom. It sounds very grand. Opens your stateroom, and you can pay for things on it and everything, like merchandise and stuff. It also lets them know who's on, who's off. So they know who's missing and whatever. My advice is, on the first day, get there a day or so at least before you leave. Don't just plan to fly into Florida. Just make sure you've got loads of organisation laid down, like you got plans, because having those plans will make you feel better about getting on the ship, making it in time. And the same goes for the day. If you know your activity finishes at 4 and they're leaving at 4:30, have you got enough time to get to the ship once you've packed all your stuff up, said goodbye to people and everything? Probably not. So just make sure, unless it's run by the ship itself, it's an excursion run by them, don't risk it. Just keep an eye on the time, even if you set an alarm for like an hour before the ship goes, and be like, that's our very last time. We can just like casual, be like, oh, it's an hour. Do you know what I mean? It's just about planning. Don't get too carried away with the frivolities and the relaxation that you're then worrying about the ports forevermore, because it's not worth it. This has been my myths, legends, #anxiety guide to Disney cruising. I hope it's been helpful for some of you. I know some of you will be going on cruises and worrying about it if you're first timers like I was, but believe me, it's great and you're going to have an amazing time. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. Mwah.